In today's video, I'm telling you the 3 biggest mistakes I made as a freelancer. Coming up. Hello and welcome back to the Freelanceverse. So freelancing can be tough sometimes, even though I try to promote positivity and taking charge of your own life on this channel, but there are downsides to it, you know. It can be really hard sometimes, and when those hard times come, you are usually alone to deal with it, which doesn't really make the situation any easier. So in today's video, I thought I would address my 3 biggest mistakes I made as a freelancer and how they almost cost me my career. So let's get to the first one. My biggest mistake I made as a freelancer, and I really encourage you not to do the same, was trying to do it alone. What I mean by that is I didn't surround myself with like-minded people that share the positivity, share the motivation with me, that are in the same circle, do the same things. I didn't share my job with friends and family, because when you start as a freelancer, it's really easy to say, you know, I'm gonna do this on my own. I don't need any help, I don't need anyone. I have my friends outside of work, and when I'm working, I'm just doing this alone. It's not a good idea, because work is such a big part of your life, especially when you love what you do and you do it a lot, right? And when you do it all by yourself, it's just a big chunk of your life that you're alone. And also think about it, like for me, luckily I have a business education before I had my translator's education, so I have some knowledge of business and experience, but still, like, all I can ever profit from is what's in my head and what I learn through reading and watching videos or something, right? I can't expand my horizon with other ideas, other topics, if I do it all by myself. So I really didn't realize that in the beginning. A network is so important. When you have a network with like-minded people that can push you, and if I meet 10 new people that are also translators, also in Belgium, for example, of course I will get tips that bring me further, right? I just didn't realize that, so don't do it by yourself. Surround yourself with like-minded people that share your drive, share your passion, and it's gonna bring you so much further. Another example for this is accountant. So in the beginning I thought, my finances, I'm just going to do them by myself, it's going to be fine. No, it's not. Like you spend a lot of time and you lose a lot of money through it, until I realized that if I pay an accountant a certain amount per year, they manage to save me way more in the taxes at the end of the years, all right? So it's a benefit, it's a profit if investing in an accountant, if you do it right. Yeah, whenever it's not your expertise, surround yourself with people that have this expertise that can bring you further. You can do that with joining webinars, joining Facebook groups, LinkedIn, YouTube, going to conferences, and all these things also increase your confidence because you're going out there, you're presenting yourself as someone who wants to learn. The second biggest mistake I made as a freelancer was staying inside my comfort zone, not leaving my comfort zone. That's a big thing. I think a lot of people nowadays just like to stay in their lane, just do what they are told to, or do what they do best. And of course that works to a certain extent, but you can't really progress. And as a freelancer, progression has to be in your mind, because as an employee, you can always progress. You can find a better job, you can ask for a pay raise, etc. As a freelancer, you can also do that. But if you stay in your comfort zone, you will just do the same thing year after year, and through inflation, your revenue will drop, even though you think it's the same, right? And what I noticed looking back, the biggest jumps in revenue, recognition, happiness, basically all things combined that are worth it as a freelancer, I made when I tried new things, right? Be it learning a new skill like subtitling. I thought, I want to learn subtitling, and now I offer it as a service on a weekly basis. Be it going to conferences. I used to hate it. I used to be scared to talk to people that I didn't know. I didn't know what should be my approach. Then I realized I don't go there to sell. I go there to network, right? And that changes the mindset a lot. If I go to a conference now, I don't even have the intention to make a sell, because come on, realistically, it's not going to happen, or maybe 1 in 50 times, and just don't expect it. And if you don't have expectations, you get the greatest results. Or getting involved with teams for a client. I never used to do that. I always thought that it connects to the first point, right? I thought I'm a freelancer, I do this on my own. But if you manage to get into a team of other translators and you work together, now we have a WhatsApp chat and we became friends through that, you know, it's amazing. And if you manage to get out there and expand your comfort zone, you know, if you're very bad in cold calling and you manage to find a creative way to do it, always keep pushing, looking for new ideas, and never settle. Never settle, very important. And number 3 of the biggest mistakes I made as a freelancer was not knowing my limits. Really important, learn to say no. This is both related to capabilities, but also like actual physical limitations. So what I mean is, in the beginning, you probably want to please your client, you want to make money, right? You don't want to have downtime in your day, so you probably accept all the jobs that come in. And while this is okay in the very beginning, but really be careful with it, because if you take on a job that you're under or overqualified for, that's either going to end badly because you work a lot and you don't get paid enough, or you work and the quality is not good and you get scolded by the client, right? If you work ridiculous hours just to make some money, like what I did in the beginning, I think just ridiculous rates, and I just needed something to do. And now I say I wouldn't do this ever again, but you know, back then it's a different story. But I literally worked nights and weekends, and in the end I had a project finished and I made like maybe 100 euros, but I spent a whole week on it. So really be careful with that and know your limits also physically and mentally, right? Because it can really mess with you. And also, really important point, your limits can change. Think about that as well, right? Assess your limits maybe on a yearly or bi-yearly basis to see if they are still the same. Because I can give you an example for that. When I was still in my master's, I really, like, looking back, I was a machine. I was doing 100% master's while studying a lot, and also maybe 40-50% working as a translator. I don't know how I did that, but I did that. It just worked out. I didn't have any physical mental problems, so I just pushed. I really wanted to make this dream work of becoming a freelance translator, and I just worked nights and weekends whenever I had some time, in the train, whenever, in the library at uni. And then end 17, basically the whole of 18, I had a health problem, a physical problem that also very much affected my nervous system. I was suffering from that for like 10 months actively and a lot longer passively, and I still have the effects from it now. So, and what I want to tell you with that is that my limits changed in this process, right? And I didn't realize it actively while it's happening. So beginning of 18, I just took on the jobs that I would usually take on, and I thought, yeah, I was able to do that before, so why not now? And I was so close to a burnout if I wasn't already in one. You know, it's always hard to tell. Luckily, I'm quite self-aware with my body and I'm in tune with it. And also my girlfriend realized it and helped me a lot. So yeah, we cleared out the calendar for a few months. We got help, and yeah, it helped me a lot. But then I had to realize for myself that my limits changed with this health issue. And this can happen to you with something personal, something professional, something mental or health. You know, you never know what changes your limits. And now I know that I can't work weekends and I need to have kind of a 9-to-5 structure. That's quite boring for other freelancers, but for me that's what works. So now Friday evening, my week is over and I don't work any weekends. Of course, I'm lucky enough that my revenue is stable and that it's enough to not having to work on weekends. That's another story. Like if you're dependent on it, that's another story. Well, luckily I found that my limits are like that, and yeah, now I listen to them, and I had to learn to say no. Now I say no every week to several people because it's just not within the boundaries, not within the budget. But it also helps to have backup, to have friends that do the same thing. So whenever I say no, I try to offer the service to another freelancer, to a friend of mine or a colleague of mine, right? I connect them with the clients, and usually that works because the client is really in need of someone. So that connects again with don't try to do it alone. If you have a big network around you, you share work with them, they will also share work with you when it comes to it. There you go. These are the 3 mistakes that I made as a translator, as a freelancer, and they can cost you a lot if you're not careful for it. So try to avoid them, or you know, make them and learn from them, and then make a video about them so others don't do the same thing. No, anyways, I wouldn't change it. It's a natural progression. You make a mistake, you learn from it. You will also make mistakes and learn from it. But the important thing is to realize you made a mistake and not like completely neglect it and say, you know, I tried the right thing. It's okay to make mistakes and then move on. Thank you so much for watching this week's video. Make sure to scroll down and subscribe. We just hit 200 subscribers. It's amazing. It only took us 1 month to get from 100 to 200. So let's keep pushing. We still have a lot of time till the end of the year. Maybe we can even scratch 300. I'll see you next week with another video. Thanks so much. Bye bye.